say, dream just all in my head.
Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jenilee and I am so happy you guys are here today. We are restoring home, family, and spirit through tried and true homemaking skills. And today we are going to be spending a lot of time on the front porch. Each season, I feel like I have to reclaim my front porch. The chickens who do free roam on our property have found that there is dog food on the front porch, and the cushions just need a good cleaning. So I am unzipping the cases off them, and the cushions were a little, messy inside. I was surprised to find. So today we are going to be reclaiming the front porch and really celebrating the start of summer and eating some of our favorite summer foods. Each new season brings new chores, new things that need to be tended to. And one thing I love about the warm weather is the front porches and having a separate living space to enjoy. And so giving that front porch a deep clean is one of the first things I do to welcome the warm weather. So I have my work clothes on today. I plan on getting the pressure washer out, getting a little bit dirty. So we're just having a really quick and easy lunch today of tuna melts and apples. When it's warm weather season, we also like to make some of our own homemade popsicles. And so I pulled out our popsicle making kit and whatever fresh fruit I have on hand. And I have these delicious ripe mangoes. So we are going to be making some mango chia seed yogurt popsicles. And I'm just starting out by dicing up these fresh mangoes right into the blender. And to that, I'm going to add about a tablespoon of chia seeds and a tablespoon of brown sugar. You could do honey or you could do no sugar at all. The juice of one lime, a little bit of a sprinkle of salt, and I did add a little bit of water to this because it was very thick. And I plan on also doing a layer of yogurt. So I pulled out some peach jam and I decided that we would be flavoring the yogurt with some of the peach jam. So these popsicles are really mango and peach. Maybe you noticed, maybe you didn't, but I am still recovering from a case of shingles that I have had on my face. And boy, did that really just knock me down. I have been recovering for quite some time and just really took a full week where I couldn't do really anything but try to rest and recover. So in this video, you can see that I'm still recovering from my shingles, and that's the reason why I look the way I do. But I'm come so far. I'm looking so much better even during this voiceover. Every day I get a little bit better. So thanks for all of your kind well wishes. I am on the mend. I did a bottom layer of mango chia seed mixture and then a layer of the yogurt mixture and then again with the mango mixture. And I just think it looks really pretty when you have layers with the yogurt and the fruit. And I ran out of popsicle sticks, so I'm using some of these little cake pop sticks. But actually this set does come with little lids that you put a popsicle stick through, and I'll link our exact popsicle making kit down in the description box below. It feels so good to be able to wash the cases of furniture. My couch is like this, and I love furniture that allows you to zip off the covers and wash it, and that's something that I like to do pretty much seasonally. And before I go back outside to really dig into that dirty front porch, I'm just going to get some rolls ready for our hamburger buns tonight. I do have a favorite roll recipe, and I just kind of adapt the shape of the rolls and use it for a bun recipe for hamburgers. And it is my favorite recipe of all time. They always come out light and fluffy and airy and soft. And I'll have to put that recipe down below for you guys. You're going to love it. I was really feeling like a bean burger or a vegetarian burger every once in a while. I like to omit meat, although we love meat as well. So that's what we're going to have for dinner tonight. I put 2 packages worth of yeast in about 1/4 cup of warm water with a sprinkle of sugar and let that rise for a little bit. And then I'm adding it to warm water and eggs, 1 stick of butter, a little bit of salt, and I add 2.5 cups of all-purpose bread flour. And I let that knead here in my mixer for just a few minutes. And then I add the rest of the flour, another 2.5 cups of flour after it's been kneading for just a little bit. After this has been kneading for a little bit, I've added all the flour. The dough feels just right. You want it to be slightly tacky, but you don't want it to be sticking to your hands and your fingers. If it's really sticky, go ahead and sprinkle a little bit of flour. And then we're going to let this rise for about an hour until it doubles in size. We've had our patio set for quite a few years. We do cover it in the wintertime, but I feel like it's taken a hit. And I noticed that there are a few holes here and there, so I decided to pull out my darning needle and thread and go ahead and fix some of those holes and make this nice patio set just last as long as it can. So the kids have cleared off the whole porch for me. And now we are going to pressure wash.
Mom, what's this?
Looks like they've also set up a slip and slide. Oh, the simple joys of summer and living in the country. When I told my family that we were going to be pressure washing the porch today and that we all needed to help, they asked if they could make a slip and slide and get wet with the pressure washer. And of course, that just makes the chore all the much more fun. I did pop back in here. It's been about an hour and it's time to shape the buns. Like I said before, this is my original roll recipe, the same recipe I actually use to make dinner rolls for holidays or just any wonderful time. And so the batch is really big. I usually make our hamburger buns a little bit large enough to fit a patty on. So I'm going to be forming about 8 hamburger buns right now, and the rest of the dough, so it's about half of the batch. The rest of the dough I'm just going to be putting in the freezer, and we can use that for some other time. And then I'm going to be covering these buns and going back outside to get some work done. Hamburgers is definitely just one of those summer foods that we like to enjoy. Grilling and making homemade buns, I definitely prefer having homemade hamburgers at home where you can have your favorite homemade dill pickles and pickled onions, all the fresh garden veggies and lettuces, tomato to go on top. It's just so much more delicious when it's made at home, as most things usually are. So now that the buns have been rising here on the counter for about another hour, I'm going to give them a little bit of an egg wash. I just scrambled 1 egg and I'm going to paint some of that on our fluffy, nice buns. And then I'm going to sprinkle some sesame seeds on top just for the looks, just to look beautiful, but you definitely don't need to have sesame seeds. And And then I'm going to pop those in the oven, and they're only going to take about 10 to 12 minutes to cook in the oven at 400 degrees. For our vegetarian burgers tonight, we are going to be making some quinoa bean burgers. So I'm getting some quinoa started in the Instapot. I cook it the same way that I cook rice. 2 cups of quinoa and 2 cups of water with a dash of salt. And I set it to the rice setting. So for the quinoa bean burgers, they have a chipotle flavor to them. They're made with 1 can of cannellini beans, about half a cup of breadcrumbs, and I add 1 pepper from the Adobe Chipotle can of chilies, which makes it a little spicy. If you don't have that, you can go ahead and add a teaspoon of Chipotle chili seasoning. And then I also add an egg and about 3/4 a cup of shredded cheese and a little bit of olive oil and 2 cups of our cooked red quinoa. You could definitely use white quinoa, but I like to use the red quinoa because it has that dark color and it makes it look more like a hamburger. This bean burger holds together really well. It's nice and moist, and I feel like the cheese just melts in that burger and holds everything together really nicely. And the chipotle is a great flavor with a little bit of spice. And I just cook it right here on the griddle with some olive oil. And I love to just let it sit for a few minutes on each side and let that quinoa on the outside get nice and crispy and a little bit crunchy. And it's a really great vegetarian burger. I also have on the cast iron skillet some onions, and we're going to do some sauteed onions and mushrooms. And I ran outside to grab some fresh lettuce. Wow, the lettuce is still good. I also wanted to show you guys our new garden shed. I want to thank Patio Well for sponsoring this video, and I'm in love with this 8x6 garden shed. We put it right next to the garden so it can hold our rakes and our tools and all the things that we need to tend the garden. And I love that it's so close. It was easy enough for Jared and I to put up together. So if you're looking for a convenient, cute little shed to have by your garden, Patio Well is a great source, and I'll make sure to link them in the description box below. So now that the dirty part is over, the porch has been scrubbed and cleaned and washed off. All that chicken poop has been cleaned off the front porch. We're ready to put everything back together. And this is my favorite part, is just putting that homemaker's touch on everything, bringing in some fresh flowers. I love these blue hydrangeas. Come summertime, I love to bring in the red, white, and blue since we do celebrate 4th of July. That's coming up soon. And so that's kind of our color scheme today. Of course, these are not real flowers, but I thought it would be really cute to hang a little bit of fake flowers in this little mailbox. I love making the porch feel like it's its own separate living space. And I feel like when we decorate it, bring out some textiles, put some pillows on a little chair or whatever it is. It just makes it feel like it's another living room and a place that brings people together, a place you want to be, a place you want to hang out and have a little bit of lemonade and relax. I pulled out some of this scrap fabric that I actually had bought during Christmas time and intended on making some pillowcases. I never got to it, and so I pulled it out, thought I would repurpose this old wreath and pulled a little bit of red things here, a little bit of blue things for that red, white, and blue theme. I was so tempted to buy a brand new wreath when I was in the store earlier today, and I decided not to. I remembered I had an old wreath and I thought, I bet I could make something of that. And I really enjoy the creative process of making something beautiful out of the things that I already have. And I use the term shopping your home before you go to the store. And I think you'd always be amazed by what you have laying around. And then I got the great idea to make a little flag banner to go on one side of the porch. So I cut one large strip of this fabric. It's probably about 6 to 8 inches wide. And I'm really not being particular here by cutting these triangles the way I am. But I thought this was a pretty handy way to cut these triangles nice and quickly. As a mother of 4 children and when the baby's napping, sometimes you just got to get things done and it doesn't always have to be perfect. So I pulled out some garden twine. I use garden twine for so many things and the stapler, and I'm just folding the edge of these triangles right over this twine, stapling it closed, and it's going to be just this cute garland or a banner or whatever you want to call it to go on the porch. When it comes to decorating with the red, white, and blue, I was surprised how many things that you could actually use for Christmas, all those little red things, you can pull them out for your red, white, and blue theme as well. I already have some touches of blue happening on the porch, in the cushions of the couch, the patio set, and in our blue hydrangeas. And so this red pinstripe looks so good with it. When we get closer to 4th of July, I think I'll hang up the rest of my 4th of July banners, but I thought we would kind of ease into it. I also use these pillowcases for Christmas, and I remembered I had them upstairs, and they work just great for my red, white, and blue theme as well. I actually rarely buy new pillows. I have invested in some really nice down feather pillow inserts, and I like to switch out the pillowcases for different seasons. Sometimes I make those pillowcases with my handy envelope pillow tutorial that I like to do, but that's just how I like to do it, instead of having to store a whole bunch of pillows all the time for each season. And I love hanging fresh flowers on the front porch in baskets. So remember those mango yogurt popsicles that we made earlier together? Well, it's time to enjoy the fruits of our labor. We have all worked hard cleaning the porch. It feels fresh and clean, decorated and festive, and the popsicles were delicious. I'll be putting some of these recipes down in the description box below. I want to thank you guys for spending time with me here today, and I wish you all a happy summer time. Enjoy the warm weather, or whatever the weather is wherever you are. And I'll catch you next week. Love you lots.